Hi, and welcome to What's Driving You Crazy. I'm your host, Esmeralda Zamora, joined by our traffic anchor and expert, Erica Brenes. We're tackling the road headaches that have drivers talking, and today it's all about the Mopac South project. So, Erica, buckle up because we have a lot to talk about,
I
right?
know, we do. Yeah.
How are you doing? How was your spring break?
Good. Yeah, we're coming off spring break. Gosh, I did take a couple days off, not a whole lot of time, but enough time. We did the rodeo. We went to the Austin Rodeo. We also went to the Bluebonnet Air Show in Burnett, which was amazing. Like, I've never been to an air show. I'm officially
An
obsessed. Like,
air
it was
show
so
girly.
cool. It was so cool.
And how did your little ones enjoy their week off?
They did pretty good. I think Big Sis was happy to have like a little bit of downtime. Little Sis, she's just along for the ride. Like
Always has her downtime.
she's does whatever she wants. She's the boss. She's the boss baby. We just all listen to her.
That's so cute.
But the allergies are actually trying to murder
Kill
me.
everyone.
Like actively trying to take me out. So
Yeah,
I'm
I
like,
feel
great.
that.
Yeah, I could really use a break.
Yeah, use an allergy break, if
Oh,
anything.
yes.
So we're going to talk about Mopac South project. We've talked about Mopac before, but this is specifically the South area.
Yeah.
What's going on down there?
So this is actually interesting. It's something that I have followed for many years, and the Central Texas Regional Mobility Authority since 2012. This has been a conversation that's been in the works. It's hit some snags. There was an environmental lawsuit in 2016. Then you had the pandemic, and it's picking back up speed. And there is a public meeting this week. The last one was in November of 2024, which I
Wow.
was actually there. And so, it's interesting. What you're looking at right now is our TxDOT camera in South Austin near Gaines Ranch Loop, which is near Southwest Parkway. There's like the Best Buy right there. There's the Greenbelt. And this is an area that is within the footprint of this project. And I got the chance to send some questions to CTRMA. And one of my questions specifically was walk me through the plan for the portions of Mopac over Lady Bird Lake, over the Barton Creek Greenbelt, and then right here at Mopac and 290. So we'll see what they say. I'm going today at 2:00 to meet with them, and then they have the meeting on Tuesday. And so we'll see what they have to say about expanding Mopac.
So there's an opportunity for anyone who is concerned about this project to speak up to those who are in charge of the project and working on it
Yeah.
every single day. And what are some of the concerns maybe that you've heard from your viewers about this project specifically?
It's mostly environmental. I mean, this is over the Edwards Aquifer Recharge Zone. The Edwards Aquifer, you have, if you've been in Austin for a while, you may have heard of the salamander.
Yeah.
And so you have a very active environmentalist group that does not want to see a lot of these roadways expanded because of the potential environmental impact. It's something this is not new. In 2016, there was a lawsuit, an environmental lawsuit against this project, and it's continuing to move forward. But this is like the history of Austin. It comes with the environmental concerns, protecting the salamander. So this ain't the first rodeo for
And-
those involved, right?
And we're growing. We're continuing to grow as a city. So with
Yeah.
growth comes construction, right?
Right. And, you have like some drivers who say, well, you must not sit in this traffic every day, right?
Yeah.
Like someone who is concerned and does not want to see Mopac expanded, someone who does sit in there in the morning rush hour and the evening rush hour every day is like, please do something to improve this roadway.
Yeah.
Someone that, doesn't necessarily sit in it every day. I don't think people are aware. For instance, my mom doesn't live in Austin right now. She used to. And she'll come to town, and every now and then she'll sit in rush hour traffic, and she's like, this is crazy. I'm like, this is every day.
Yeah.
Like South Mopac is a huge problem. You just have some pain points when you compare Mopac on the north side, the Mopac Express lane. You don't have the sort of bridges the way that South Mopac has over Lady Bird Lake, over the Barton Creek Greenbelt, that interchange at 290. I was even driving it the other day, and I was like, let me pay attention to what does Mopac look like right here, And that's one of the questions I'm going to ask CTRMA today is, what is the plan? I don't think that there is enough room. When you look at the columns at 290 and Mopac, I don't think there's enough room to add a lane in both directions. I could be wrong. I'm not an engineer.
In both directions?
Yeah.
That's what they're trying to do?
In both directions. They want to add a lane on Mopac between downtown and Slaughter. Slaughter is basically where there's an Alamo Draft House down there in that Circle C neighborhood. And so, you know, it's not that long ago, actually, that 290 flyover to Mopac opened.
Yeah.
And so I'm curious how they will work that into the equation. But, you know, like I said, I'm not an engineer. So there may be more room than any of us realize. But there's just bigger pain points.
Yeah, when you think about expanding a road like that, it has to go over something. It's going to affect whatever's underneath it.
Right.
And then all the businesses on the side of it or the neighborhoods, entrance to the neighborhood. It sounds like chaos.
It's interesting because there's actually more room than you realize. And so when you compare the two projects, right? So North Austin has gotten a lot of expansion. Mopac has a toll lane. 183 now has extra lanes up in Northwest Austin. You have the 183A. When you look at the north side, they've gotten a lot more than the south side has. So as a South Austin resident and someone who's lived in South Austin for a long, long time, I'm like, hello, what about us? Like, we want some of these, the federal dollars, the different, you know, the funding. Can we get some love down here in South Austin also?
Yeah, you have to pass through South Austin to get to North Austin.
Right.
So why not make that part beautiful?
And so it's interesting. So on that north side of Mopac, the Mopac Express Lane, which is downtown up to like Palmer Lane, and then it keeps going, but it turns into SH45.
Mm-hmm.
But there's just not, that was what was open first. And I still remember when that first got, I was on a boat. I was like so young and carefree on a boat on Lake Austin. And someone's like, yeah, they're adding a lane in both directions. I was like, that's crazy.
That's awesome.
And now, you know, it's like, that's part of our footprint now. So now they want to do the same thing down south. So, you know, okay, so it's an $824 million project, which honestly kind of doesn't sound, I would actually think it would be more expensive.
I've heard different projects that we've talked about cost way more than that. So.
Right. So, and because you're dealing with the bridge at Lady Bird Lake, the bridge over the Greenbelt, and that 290 and Mopac interchange, I'm like, you would think it'd be more expensive. And
yeah, so that you can save everything that is in harm's way when you start this project.
And there is, you know, obviously, like, the more concrete you lay down, the less impervious coverage you have for the water to soak into the ground.
Mm-hmm.
And so that is a concern. But I do think that there's more room in parts of South Austin than drivers realize to expand, to add a lane in both directions. Really, when you look at the footprint, like, aside from those pain points with those bridges, there's actually more room than people realize. You're going to lose some trees for sure. I mean, that's kind of part of it, which obviously we don't love that in Austin. I mean, my goodness, we had like a funeral for a tree at Barton Springs.
I remember that.
So, you know, we do it a little bit differently in Austin. But here's the meeting. Here's the information. Bowie High School, Tuesday, 5:30 to 7:30. If you are, you know, at all passionate about this, one way or the other,
show up and show out.
Up and show out. I mean, I think, you know, this will have a pretty good turnout. I really do. I think the one in 2024 was actually at Austin High around the same time frame. But when you look at like who this is really going to impact, we're talking South Austin. We are talking Bowie High School students and parents. And I think this will have a pretty big turnout. So I'll be there.
Yeah.
I'm talking to CTRMA. Come talk to me if you see me. Let me know your opinion. Again, you have two very different sides of the aisle, right? You have someone who says, absolutely not. The environmental impact is far too great. And then you have someone who sits in traffic every single day who says, please, for the love of God, give me more lanes, give me an option. Now, I think in a perfect world, honestly, you would have a metro line, you'd have a rail line, and you would have a toll line.
And we're not far from that, right? We're getting one soon.
No, we're actually really far from it.
Oh, we are?
Yes. The idea to have a rail line that goes from Circle C to downtown Austin is not even
on the radar.
I mean, it is, but it's not. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's really not. And so I don't think that will happen in my lifetime. I could be, you know, prove me wrong. color me wrong there. Because I would love that. I think if you had the rail, if you had the extra, a toll lane that people could use if they need, and you had the free lanes, that would kind of be a perfect world. But I think we're pretty far from that, even though I think a rail line there would be so popular.
Yeah, especially with the drop-offs by the water, and then if you want to go up a little more central.
Yeah.
It would be helpful.
If you had a park and ride down there in South Austin, like near Circle C, and then a line, it would be gangbusters. So popular.
Everyone would be using that thing.
They really would. Kind of like they do coming in from Leander.
Yeah.
So this project, my allergies are so bad.
I feel you. I'm choking up too. But this project, when will it be completed?
That I don't actually know,
so
because there's not even
right?
a construction date as far as when it would kick off. So we're still
in the early
some of those
stages.
Details. Yeah.
What other questions are you going to have for them at the meeting?
I did ask about the environmental impact. I asked. I sent a whole list of questions. I just send a list in advance.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, they know when they see me come in, I'm like, I want very specific answers to these questions.
Yeah. And so, it's questions that everyone is going to have, right? Not just us here working to cover this news, but it's what people want to hear.
Yeah. And they basically said, we're going to have this special meeting for media because we don't want to be distracted by media on the meeting. We want to be able to talk to the public on Tuesday and not be stepping aside to do interviews with,
that's
local
good.
media.
Get as many questions as you can in there, and then
I'm sure there will be other transportation reporters in Austin who will be at this meeting today and have also just as important questions to ask as well.
I hope that they're ready and buckled up for all these questions.
I know. I always try to keep it. I always see both sides. I'm very I get it. I get the environmental concerns, but I also sit and watch traffic every day, and I get those concerns too.
Yeah, from the people and from viewers, right?
Yeah.
So we have an article on our website right now. It's titled MOPAC South Project Public Meeting Tuesday for anyone who wants to attend that public meeting. All that information is in here, right?
Yep. That's where you can find out more. And we've got the link to the project website. If you can't make the in-person meeting, there is an opportunity to weigh in virtually. We've got the link to do that. That goes until May 3rd. It's somewhere in there if you can't go. Early May.
Early May.
Yeah.
And that meeting is this Tuesday. That's March 24th from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. at Bowie High School cafeteria.
Yep.
Well, anything else driving you crazy?
The allergies. I'm dying. I have not gotten hit this hard in a while.
I know. Same.
Yeah. I guess I'm due.
I was confused because when I first moved to Austin, I didn't get that wave of allergies right away, but it's in the second year where I'm like,
it takes some time. I know, it's so bad. And all my normal things are just not working. So whatever. It'll pass.
Well, we'll be back next week with another Driving You Crazy. Thanks for joining me, Erica.
Bye.
Anyone who wants to watch more of us rambling on about what's driving us crazy, you can follow us on our socials, on our website, and even on our KXAN Plus streaming app. And we'll see you next week.
Bye.